to phase 2. This phase is about create curiosity and engagement. Ask yourself the question before planning your lesson. How do students become so curious that they want to know more about the unit or the topic? How can the students be involved in several ways? If we cannot reach out to the students and make them interested, it will be difficult for them to work. We all know that. Engagement is necessary for the students to try and increase motivation. It is difficult to say how long this phase should take. It depends on the subject and on the group. On the other hand, it is good to always think about this phase in your unit plans. Okay, let's move on to the big question. How do we create curiosity and engagement? One way to create curiosity is to ask questions that touch and that force the students to answer or think. Instead of going straight into the lesson and say, today we are going to talk about how cells in the body work. Instead, we can practice formulating questions that relate to both the subjects and the students' interests. Instead, say, have you ever thought about? This is a good introduction to a question because it forces the student to think about feelings and experiences. One more example to introduce a new unit or a task is to say, have you experienced when the language was not enough to be understood? Or have you ever read a text and then not remember what it is about? Oh, okay, I will tell you what you can do to improve your memory. Ask questions like, do you get angry at a friend on Snapchat? How do you feel then? Today, we are going to talk about how to behave online. Okay, you get it. Follow up with clarifying questions. What happened then? What could be the reason for that? How do you want to connect it to? Perhaps you can make it a routine for the students to formulate questions about things they want to know more about. Question box in the classroom can be a routine or a ritual when you start a new unit, for example. Asking questions are our ways of differentiating the level because they allow answers that could be both concrete and abstract. We can differentiate even more by having more questions in more levels that students can choose from. Concrete tips for you that you can use in your classroom. So number 1 is what I know, what I believe, what I want to do. This game or this exercise can increase engagement in your classroom. So start with write your question or your topic on the board. Divide the board into 3 parts with these headlines. Let the students come to the board to write down what they know, what they think, what they want to know about the topic or your question. Or have each student make their own columns in their notebook. Students can then compare the columns with each other. The goal here is to find out what the students can do, what the misconceptions there are, or what the interest looks like for the subject or the question you're going to work with. Another tip to do in the classroom to create curiosity is the heads together game, my favorite. Ask a question and let the students think for a minute. Then say, heads together! This is a signal for the students in a group to get closer and think out loud as a team. Also talk about how much time they have before, always. Then let each group share their answers before giving the correct answer. Write the answer on the board later on and take the opportunity and let the groups explain how they got to the answer. With a short opening of the lesson, it becomes easier to engage and motivate the students. The activities are differentiated because it is possible for the students to become involved in different ways and based on different interests. Some students get the right answers for being able to participate in a discussion or for practicing together, which differentiates the level. Differentiation also takes place when students learn how to carry out an activity. The activities are explicit because they get a clear structure. The countdown timer also makes the exercises explicit.